Let me talk to you straight, heart to heart, no fancy science words, no complicated gym talk, just real truth that hits you where you live. If you are over 60, or even close to it, you already know something most young people don't. You wake up one day and your body doesn't answer the same way it used to. The legs feel weaker. The grip isn't as strong. The stairs feel steeper. The mirror shows a version of you that still has wisdom in the eyes, but less power in the muscles. And people tell you, that's normal, that's age. But I'm here to tell you something important. Weakness is not your destiny. Muscle loss is not a life sentence. And aging does not mean surrender. For years, you were told that protein only comes from meat, from eggs, from expensive supplements in shiny jars. You were told that if you don't eat eggs every morning or drink powders that taste like chalk, then muscle loss is inevitable. That message has been repeated so often that people stopped questioning it. But nature has always been smarter than marketing. Long before supplements existed, people stayed strong on simple foods that grew from the ground. And one vegetable, humble, overlooked, and often underestimated, carries more protein power than most people can imagine. Before I tell you about that vegetable, let's talk about what's really happening inside your body after 60. Muscle loss doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly. A little less strength this year, a little less balance next year. You don't notice it at first because you adapt. You sit instead of stand. You lift lighter things. You avoid movements that feel hard. And without realizing it, your muscles get a message. That message says, I am no longer needed. Muscles that aren't used and nourished begin to shrink. This process has a name, but you don't need the name. You just need to know the truth. Muscles are alive. They respond to what you do and what you eat, at any age. Now here is the part that surprises people. Your muscles are hungry, but not desperate. They don't need massive amounts of food. They need the right signals. They need protein, yes, but they also need minerals, antioxidants, and compounds that tell your body, build, repair, strengthen. Eggs have protein, no doubt about it, but they are not the only answer. And for many people over 60, eggs can feel heavy because digestion issues or simply get boring. Nature, thankfully, gave us options. There is a vegetable that quietly carries a protein profile that shocks people when they hear it. A vegetable that feeds muscles, protects bones, supports digestion, and calms inflammation at the same time. That vegetable is green peas. Yes, peas. Simple, affordable, easy to find, and powerful. Many people think of peas as a side dish, something small, something soft. But inside those little green spheres is a muscle, supporting gift that has been ignored for too long. Green peas contain a surprisingly high amount of protein for a vegetable. But that's only the beginning. The protein in peas is rich in essential amino acids that muscles use to repair themselves. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at using protein. That means you need protein sources that are easy to digest and absorb. Pea protein does exactly that. It doesn't sit heavy in the stomach. It doesn't overload the liver. It works gently but effectively. But protein alone is not enough, especially after 60. Muscles don't just break down because of low protein. They also break down because of inflammation. Years of stress, poor sleep, processed foods, and inactivity create a low-grade fire inside the body. This fire slowly damages muscle tissue. Green peas contain antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that help calm that fire. When inflammation goes down, your body can finally focus on rebuilding instead of constantly repairing damage. Let me tell you something else that matters deeply at this stage of life. Digestion. If your digestion is weak, even the best food won't help you. Many people over 60 struggle with bloating, constipation, or discomfort after meals. That leads them to eat less, which leads to even more muscle loss. Green peas are rich in fiber, the kind of fiber that feeds healthy gut bacteria. A healthy gut improves nutrient absorption. Better absorption means your muscles actually receive the protein you eat instead of letting it pass through unused. Now imagine this. You eat a bowl of peas regularly, your digestion improves. Your body absorbs more nutrients. Inflammation decreases. Muscles start receiving clearer signals to rebuild. Over time, you notice small changes. Standing up feels easier. Carrying groceries doesn't scare you anymore. Your balance improves. You feel more confident moving your body. This is not magic. This is biology responding to care. Some people say, it's too late for me. That's the biggest lie aging ever told. Muscles can respond to nourishment and movement even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. The human body is incredibly forgiving when you finally treat it right. It doesn't hold grudges. It responds to consistency, not perfection. Another powerful thing about peas is that they support blood sugar balance. Why does that matter for muscles? Because unstable blood sugar leads to energy crashes, cravings, and fat storage instead of muscle repair. Stable blood sugar means steady energy, better mood, and more willingness to move. Movement tells muscles to stay alive. Even light movement, combined with proper nutrition, sends a powerful message to your body. Let's talk about fear for a moment. Many people over 60 fear falling. That fear leads to less movement. Less movement leads to weaker muscles. Weaker muscles increase the risk of falling. It becomes a vicious cycle. Stronger muscles break that cycle. Nutrition is the foundation. You cannot exercise your way out of poor nutrition, especially later in life. Feeding your muscles is an act of self-respect. You don't need to eat peas raw or force yourself into boring meals. They can be added to soups, mixed into rice, blended into spreads, tossed with vegetables, or lightly cooked with herbs. The goal is not to suffer through food. The goal is to nourish yourself with foods that love you back. There's also something psychological that happens when you choose nourishing foods. You start believing that your body is worth caring for. That belief changes behavior. You sit up straighter. You walk a little more. You choose better habits. Muscle strength is not just physical. It's connected to confidence, independence, and dignity. For too long, aging has been framed as decline. But aging can also be refinement. You don't need excess. You need precision. You need foods that do more with less. Green peas are one of those foods. They give protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds in one simple package. And let's be honest. Eggs are not evil, but they are not the only hero. When people hear, vegetable with protein, they laugh. That laughter disappears when they feel stronger, steadier, and more capable after changing what's on their plate. Muscle loss doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers. It shows up as fatigue, stiffness, hesitation. Reversing it doesn't require shouting either. It requires quiet, consistent choices. One meal at a time, one walk at a time, one act of care at a time. Your body has carried you through decades. It has survived stress, illness, heartbreak, and hard work. It deserves nourishment that supports it now, not food that just fills space. When you give your muscles what they need, they respond with gratitude. Think about what strength really means at this stage of life. It's not about lifting heavy weights or showing off. It's about getting out of bed without pain. It's about hugging your loved ones with confidence. It's about standing in the kitchen and cooking without needing to sit down. It's about independence. Green peas may seem small, but strength doesn't always come from loud places. Sometimes it grows quietly, patiently in simple forms. The body recognizes real nourishment when it receives it. So if you are over 60 and you feel like your strength is slipping away, don't panic. Don't surrender. Start feeding your muscles with intention. Start choosing foods that rebuild instead of burden. Start believing that improvement is still possible. Muscle loss is not a punishment for aging. It is often a message asking for better care. Answer that message. Nourish yourself, move gently, rest deeply. And remember, your body is still listening.